And with all this stuff which is going on right now in our society, I wanted to talk about something that I've been really thinking about for the past for much of 2020. And it arose from reading a verse from the Bible that you can see here. Whoever answers before listening is both foolish, as in unwise and shameful. And that's kind of roughly what that verse talks about. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13. And I was thinking about if if you're only willing to hear one side of an argument, um, how can you answer to what is actually going on? How can you talk about a subject if you're only willing to hear one side? You know, that just strikes me to be, and it's a thing I see among the ideologically possessed of individuals. They only want to hear what their side says. And and I'm like I'm like, well, I would like to hear what the other side says. Whenever I come across like a left wing, someone like Steve Shives, I listen to Steve Shives, even though I just virulently disagree with Steve Shives sometimes. He kind of gets grates on me a little because a lot of what he does says just insults my intelligence when I really think about it longer. He may have that calm, nice, kind tone of talking, but underneath that is like really nasty words. And I'm like, no, fuck off, dude. Fuck off, dude. And it also goes back to the Kybalion. So there it is. There it is. Maybe I can find the quote. Maybe I can find the quote here. Um, and then I'm gonna probably talk about a quotation from a individual that my dad would probably. So how can you agree with someone like uh like that? Well, so here's a quote, the quotation I was looking at. The other one of the other quotations. The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. Wisdom. How can you say that? How can you have true wisdom if you only hear one side, but not the other? You know, wisdom comes from hearing either side because it gives insight into understanding how the world works and how complex things are. So it's the very just a very weird view. Yeah. My Hero Academia. No, Demon Slayer. I actually want to watch that. But that's not what I want to talk about here. Let's see. Those are some good quotes, by the way. See, anyone who wants to say that I'm a bigot, and I'm not, oh, you're a bigot, because, I'm actually quoting people darker skinned than me. But then again, they'll turn around and call me a cultural appropriator. Yeah, I'm very much against the anti censorship. Very variety of topics and whatnot. Eli Vance. But I want to look at this other quotation. Let's see. Oh yeah. By the way, I'm on my website. Yeah, I have a website, and hopefully this website doesn't get taken down because of what's going on that that a certain incident that happened that was either allowed to intentionally happen or whatnot that I cannot talk about, and I'm unwilling to at least talk about here on YouTube. Maybe on BitChute I'll talk about it there. Or I won't. Wait a minute, I've already talked about it on both these platforms. Maybe kind of. I made reference, shown some of the material because I feel that what some of the people I was listening to, you know, I feel it's important to have the context, the voices of people who are actually there, and were actually there to hear, to see what was going on, even if it's like the initial and there wasn't really much of knowledge of what was going on. I feel it's important. Let's see. Do your own investigation. Think for yourself, people. Is that a quote again? And that is a scene from the Bhagavad Gita. Some very good videos in this article. Yeah. Vedanta philosopher. I mean, the origins of the flame in Dead Poet Society was basically probably from like it's a very old motif. By the way, I want to watch this film. American History X, whatever it is. Heard it's supposed to be a really good movie. Don't believe it because you see it on the internet. Even though there's probably some truth to that, I wouldn't, because they do actually, because there is some truth. They do put stuff on the programs to make them slower over time. That's why I go with Linux and whatnot. Always question the narrative. Graham Hancock. Yeah, you can go to my YouTube channel and that video is up there. But we're looking for and by the way, Ken Wheeler. Really do like Ken Wheeler. I'm not saying that sort of thing is right, but neither is defending the act of teen pregnancy because someone's lifestyle is just simply to be a stupid teen. Someone's be a stupid teen. I'm sorry. That's not a lifestyle you want to. Who thought that getting pregnant was a was adult? Well, most adults don't want to have children unless they absolutely want them. In most cases, it is essential to have children. That's why, in some ways, I do kind of agree. I can kind of side with the conservatives like Ben Shapiro here, even though in this case, I think he's full. And we're already talking about perspectives. It's very funny how all this stuff is relating to perspective, point of view. And yeah, by the way, I don't agree with. I most definitely don't agree with the puritanical left. They're a bunch of they're like the religious conservatives of old, you know. And I don't really have a problem with furries. Majira Strawberry. How do I even know about Majira Strawberry? I don't know. I just know about Majira Strawberry. I just know about Majira Strawberry. I used to watch a lot of furries because I was just curious. What is the furry fandom? And you see, perspective. I was willing to listen to people that I was ever told don't listen to them because they're a bunch of weirdos. And I found it to be okay to be a weirdo. I'm a freaking weirdo myself. I'm a guy who talks about things that people would find otherwise weird. Um, I'm an otherwise overall likable person. You know, I think you can like a person and agree with them even though they're basically left of you. Because there are leftists that I like. Richard Dawkins. I don't agree with Richard Dawkins, but I feel that Richard Dawkins has said some pretty. I nonetheless listen to the man. I feel that we should have criticism. No, this is gonna be very interesting. I've been saving a bunch of quotes. Sticks, Hex, and Hammer 666. Because I do agree with a lot of Styx's remarks. But I wanted to show Richard Dawkins' quote. Because I feel that Richard Dawkins' quote is pertinent to what I'm talking about. It's hearing the other side, hearing what the other side is saying. And we even got Sam Harris. I already do like Sam Harris. See, even I'm willing to actually throw his quotes in there without even me throwing harsh criticism. And it's mainly because I respect Sam Harris. I respect him regardless of his views. Dave Rubin, right here, and and I think it's and what I'm and right here, I actually agree. I usually try to blot out the names of other people, or of less well known people, because I personally feel that there's this kind of weird view. But this is the quote I was looking for. The quote was, "When I tweet on politics, even if I merely post the URL, I get many replies like, stick to science. Politics is not your field." Which field then? Does quality want to hold a political opinion? Are scientists specifically disqualified for thinking and caring about the world? Even though I disagree with a lot of Dawkins's um, viewpoints, this one I agree with. And I will nonetheless say that we should listen to people, even if they're people that we disagree with, even if they say dumb things. They have a right. They're welcome to say to give their opinion. I'm willing to listen to a man who at least recognizes this, the perspectives of listening to different people with different points of view. Goes back to the lips of wisdom. The principle behind the lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. Even though that's specifically talking about wisdom, and you can glean, in this case, you can glean a sort of wisdom from this. That the broader understanding of the world comes from listening to the different voices. I don't know what his stances are on removing people, but I agree with him. I agree with him on that. And I'm willing to sort of quote him on that, even though he may not necessarily completely follow that philosophy himself. So let's say back to what I was looking at. I'm willing to listen to people of different points of view. The Imam of Peace, I really like him. Of course, being the Advaita Vedanta person, of course I would be very allured to India. There's also another reason why I put pictures of a lot of these, is that I'm also drawn to and I don't understand why I'm drawn to that. And when I realize it is, there's really no point, not really no point to it. It's a very weird thing. There is more than the physicality of ourselves. Yeah. talking about about to limit what deity should not look like demeans the very power of deity. We say deity is imbued with. After all, deity should be unlimited. I never really liked the terms God and Goddess. Then again, this kind of reasoning should make us ask what form the ultimate should take. What form should the ultimate take? Who are we to say what the ultimate is and what the ultimate isn't? Yeah, another picture of Shiva right there. And then talking about all this violence nowadays, people stop going to church. That's why when the church grew old, and that's one side of the argument. One could also argue that there were people on the side of the church that disagreed with these practices. And I would say there are. I don't even do any. I didn't even do anything. Origin of Adamantius seemed to think that the God of Christianity was a just and fair God. Well, you know what original sin is? Original sin. The concept of original sin is essentially the prototype of what the communists practice. Is it's kind of like what Stalin did. Always seemed to be interesting. And I'm not surprised that the communists did that because communism arose from the memes that the church had long planted in the minds of certain individuals. Because remember, the church also possessed that aspect of it, the authoritarian aspect, and that authoritarian aspect had been a long-standing one until kind of the Catholic Church, the Second Catholic Church, came around and started to sort of change that around, even though they themselves were too representation of that. Yeah. So they're the same dude. And I, of course, compare the God of the Old Testament to kind of Stalin. That's one way of looking. That's one point of view of looking at it. He could very well be a Stalin, but then again, God is the nature of God is a much more complex thing, and it's just weird. The God of the Old Testament is the God of contradiction. He's more of a contradiction than he is black and white. But of course, this has a lot to do with the what I was saying here, propagating ignorance. It is far wiser to say that I am not the way rather than to say that I am the only way. Muhammad said, I don't know the purpose of life. Buddha, he is not the Buddha. Buddha does not refer to a person. Seek for truth means I am not the way. And I don't even know if Jesus was saying that I am the only way. Like you can even prove that. Be human. Don't be a Republican. Don't be a Democrat. Don't be a liberal. Don't be a conservative. Don't be a Muslim. Don't be a Christian. Be a human being. Some say follow prophet. Some say follow Jesus. Some say follow Joe Biden. Some say follow Donald Trump. But actually follow consciousness. But also follow consciousness. Be human and follow consciousness. Some say God is only seventh sky. Some say God is over fourth sky. What actually is true, God is with me. He is within me. Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within you just as it is outside of you. Remember that for a lot of you Christians. Remember that Jesus said that God is within you just as it is just as he is outside of you. He is everywhere. He is everything. He is Ishvara. Very interesting how Christianity borrows a lot from Hinduism. Yeah, it does. If you want to debate me on that one. And I think that's kind of neat that it does borrow from that. Some say God tests, some say God punishes, some say God forgives. Vedas say God supports. Sooner or later, and yeah, I think we've already kind of made some of the point since, yeah, garden variety atheism. Yuck, garden variety atheism. You're not a real atheist. Because you're not saying anything new. That's why. It's not that I don't agree with you. It's not that I wouldn't listen to you. It's just you're not saying anything new. Talk about other things other than how Christianity is a shit religion. Yeah, I do enough to defend Christianity and criticize it. I'm a little bit harsher, but the fact that I do quote a lot of the Bible should tell you that. At the same time, I can't disagree with Christians. There's some good things in the Bible. I believe Allah. That's cool. Can I eat your shit? That's a funny meme. The new atheist. I mean, I think was Thomas Sheridan's meme. One of Thomas Sheridan's memes. Institutional theism. The Reddit atheist, aka the garden variety atheist, who believes Soylence, which they completely misunderstand, disproves all types of religion, spirituality, and philosophy, because they don't believe, they want to remove philosophy. That's what they want. Because philosophy is, that's a white man's thing. That's a white man thing. I don't think all atheists believe that, but the SJWs rather want to remove philosophy, and usually most SJWs that happen to be atheists or garden variety atheists. Carl Jung, absolute chat of a man. Institutional theist, dumb fuck who unquestionably believes in their cultural religion through a literal interpretation, coming into a massive conflict with modern science and empiricism. Carl Jung. The Chad who approaches their cultural religion through a Jungian symbolic lens, seeing God in double quotations, not as a physical entity necessarily, but a force that is embedded in the fabric of humanity, culture, and society, but which can also, most importantly, be channeled within the individual for the sake of spiritual growth, self-improvement, and meditative reflection, thus unifying modern science and empiricism with classical philosophy, religion, and even the occult. I agree with that, and I do like Carl Jung. Some people call Carl Jung a stuffy intellectual. Favorite meme. Why is it when something happens, it's always you three? That's kind of funny. Even though Judaism has rarely done anything. Maybe not. Actually, it has, because Christianity was a European invention, actually. I mean, the original so-called Christians were Jews, were Hellenistic Jews who were influenced by things like Hermeticism and Hermeticism and whatnot, and Gnosticism, and of course, good songs. Me talking about. Here's a quote: "The consciousness of the world is so guilty that it always assumes that people who investigate heresies must be heretics, just as if a doctor who studies leprosy must be a leper. Indeed, it is only recently that science has been allowed to study anything without reproach." Uh-oh. 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 Aleister Crowley. Oh, Aleister Crowley. What a bad influence. You shouldn't read Aleister Crowley. You should read Anton LaVey. They're Satanists. But as a good old but as let's see. But as our friend John Adams says, facts are stubborn things, and whatever may be our wishes, our inclinations, or the dictates of our past passion, they cannot alter the state of facts and evidence. And regardless of what you think of Mr. Crowley, he is right. He is absolutely right. And of course, we got Mr. Jefferson, George Jefferson, from Meet the Jeffersons. Just kidding, by the way. I wouldn't do that to Tom. I wouldn't do that to Thomas Jefferson, but that's just funny to do. Question with boldness even the existence of a God, because if there be one, you must more prove the homage of reason than that of blindfolded faith. Now, why would what or blindfolded faith, blindfolded fear? Why why would I why would I accept the fear of certain political institutions? No, you're a bunch of. And of course, we had Siddhartha Gautama. Believe nothing, no matter where you read it or who said it, no matter if I have said it, unless it agrees with your own reason and your own common sense. Yet again, someone talking about reason. Siddhartha Gautama. And by the way, I would recommend read the Dhammapada if you want to read a good read work. It's even if it's like later stuff, it's still pretty good. I nonetheless felt it was worth reading. The Kalama Sutta. Do not believe in anything simply because you have heard it. Do not believe in traditions simply because they have been handed down for many generations. Do not believe in anything merely on the authority of your teachers and elders, but when after observation and analysis you find anything that agrees with reason and is conducive to the good and benefit of one and all, then accept it and live up to it. You know, basically kind of similar to what Siddhartha Gautama was saying. I mean, how are we to know what is right unless what makes sense unless we are willing to listen to the other side? True intellectualism questions those things that are within oneself and those things outside of oneself. Wisdom. That's my that 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 that's that is what my take would also be. That is what my take would also be. I agree with that too. Let's see if there's any more quotes that I can pull out of here. In hypocrisy, let's see, bunch of different stuff that I've been doing over the course month. Equivalent exchange explained. I like that video. Equivalent exchange explained. It's one of my favorite videos. You know, you can't have fat acceptance and free healthcare, free healthcare, double quotations. That is one of the many things that these crackers, so-called intellectuals with their gender studies degrees, disagrees don't understand. You can't have it both ways. And this is reason. You can't be an intellectual without questioning what you hear, what you're hearing. The true essence of learning and education is the enjoyment of it, and not simply there to be something that helps earn money, helps earn a living. It's something that you have to actually enjoy doing, because that just makes it, because you value it if you're enjoying it. It tells people you value it. Higher education is supposed to take learning, i.e., the acquisition and application of wisdom and knowledge, and education, i.e., the acquisition of empirical knowledge, and combine them both. The empirical knowledge, you know, higher learning, higher education. You should be learning wisdom, but they don't teach you that in college. Diabetes and heart disease is more dangerous than losing weight. Hell, not even brushing your teeth or washing your hair, which I've struggled with from time to time, can have negative effects on your health, as well as the health of others around you. Living healthy is bad for mental health, and spouting this woke trash uh, bigotry nonsense about how all white people are white trash bigots is not. They say that I must put on the white sackcloth of penance for things that I did not even do. What did the wood say to the sawmiller? I'll leave that one for those who for these people to ponder. You have to wonder if most of these body positive or body acceptance movements are getting endorsed by the food industry. To say that this is silly is an understatement. To say that this is silly is like pouring coffee creamer in medium roast coffee, the ultimate sugar coating, as opposed to calling it dumb or foolish, aka pouring one little cup of sugar in your coffee. Remember what Mary Poppins said. A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Medicine go down. Medicine go down. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Da 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 da. The fat acceptance movement is stupid. To put it in the words of Dr. Gregory House from the House MD show. And I think that is something he would have actually said about it. He would have just no bullshit. It would have just, nope, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. I want to pour coffee cream. I will not coffee cream my words unless I work with children. In that case, I'm willing to kind of do that, but I will not. But I will still not stand down for my position. Usually, trust me, dealing with bed bugs is not fun. Adults should have the brunt responsibility, so that should take the brunt of responsibility, so that children don't have to worry about that, or at the very least don't have to worry as much about stuff. Where's Applejack when you need her? Well, good point. I think I think people need to listen. I think people really need to think for themselves. But unfortunately, in society, of course, I was kind of commenting on some stuff, and this is some material that I'm gonna probably eventually compare and actually talk about. Like, maybe there's maybe philosophies I will talk about at some point, like a good old those who Actually, yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. And now I'm probably back to doing more stuff. Unfortunately, it's 7 o'clock. I never got to watch the videos I wanted to watch. Bye.
Twitter is just as fake as reality TV, in that in reality TV shows where there are real people involved, like, they're guided through an extremely controlled simulation where, there are cameras everywhere. They are constantly being told to do things. They're constantly being fed lines, fed prompts, challenged to create better TV. Everything you see that is presented as though it's happening incidentally is actually happening in front of like way more crew than you could possibly think seems natural. Like, it just, the experiences that the people are having is literally extremely different from what is actually happening. Twitter allows this to be something that people participate in like they're in a reality TV show, except they don't get paid. And they think that they are participating in the news. They think that they are a part of reality, because of the fact that the blue checkmark system creates this idea that there is this league of informed people, or more worthy voices that are disseminating the information through Twitter. Even though, as we all know, blue checks mean basically nothing.